Hey, welcome everybody to the Robert Sungenis and Dave Palm after show, where we might talk a little bit about the actual discussion, but I think a lot of people want to be asking more about the crazy ex-roommate voicemails and the situation there. So we might do a little bit of both. The problem that we're running into is that I cannot figure out for the life of me how to run these voicemails through the Hangout. Now I have Voice Meter. I've tried different things. I've tried different settings. It just basically, I get one thing to work and something else screws up. So what I'm asking for is anybody that can actually play an audio file through like VLC. If they want to come in and play it on their system, I can send them each file one by one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think, voicemails to do. They're not very long. They're about 2.5 minutes each. The last one being my favorite. And I'll give you a little backstory about it as we go along here. So let's see who wants to actually join us for the actual topic of Robert Sungenis and Dave Palm after show on Geocentrism. And while we're doing that, of course, Ashley in the live chat can sit there and flirt with me as much as she wants. Yes, she can. In fact, just because she said that, I'm giving her a moderator. There she goes. She has a wrench now. Now she can't be timed down and she can flirt with me all she wants. If you want to come in, message me. I will give you the link. The link is actually on my Facebook page, and that is private. So if you are not a friend of mine, you won't be able to have it. And it's actually on the Great Debate Community Facebook page as well, which is also a closed group. So I am going to put this on cameraman just in case. I don't think I have a problem. But I think I found out if somebody does take over your Hangout, I believe there is a way to cancel it now. At least I know using OBS there is. But you can actually do it through Creator Studio now, but I don't know if for Hangouts. But anyways, I got Ganesh in here. He did watch the show. I think he wanted to throw a little bit out there about his thoughts on it. I will tell you my thoughts on it. I thought it was a very good discussion. I really like Dave. He was a nice guy. He's been the webmaster for Geocentrism Debunked for quite some time, and him and Robert have a huge history of going back and forth. And you could tell tonight that they kind of had a little past, right? I mean, it got a little personal, I guess, but not a dumpster fire or anything like that. But clearly they have talked about these issues numerous times. Now, I will tell you the greatest thing I thought about that discussion was, and I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot my own horn, was the question that I asked, because I really had been wanting to ask either Robert or Rick Delano, the other producer of the movie The Principal, this question, because this question really gets to the nuts and bolts of everything. And that is, using these Galilean, or actually in this case, Lorentz transformations, could you not make any point of the universe the center? And the correct answer is yes. And the movie The Principle had to do with called the Copernican principle, which was basically that we have no special place in the universe, that we have just any other place. There's no preferred frame of reference according to special theory of relativity. And when he answered my question, he acknowledged that. He acknowledged, yeah, you could basically say the universe revolves around any point, but the Earth is the actual place it does because of religious reasons. I mean, he basically said the final say is the church, even though that the Catholic Church has said numerous times, they don't accept geocentrism; they accept a heliocentric model. And so that, I think that was a really great turning point in that discussion. And I really think that was the big takeaway that showed that, yeah, you could use geocentrism as a viable model. Nobody's really ever said otherwise. The problem is that one, it holds true to any place where you have Lorentz covariance, where you can basically take any point in the universe and do these transformations and make the math work out. Make the properties of the universe here should be the same properties everywhere, basically. And the other takeaway was that hang on, I just got a message real quick. One sec. What was the other takeaway? Let me get that out of the way real quick. It was kind of important. Now I forgot it. Whatever. What do you guys think of it, though? I was really looking forward to that discussion because I worked so hard to get Dave to do it, because Dave only wanted to do written discussions with him. He didn't want to give Robert any legitimacy, and I get that. But I think that him coming on and actually having a one-on-one discussion with him was something he wanted to do, but he had to be a little coerced into it, and I thought he did a wonderful job. Atheist Brony, you want to get in contact me? Yeah, dude. Facebook, Gmail, you use G+. I have Twitter. Basically, my email is easy. It's steveaskanything@gmail.com. That's I check that out every morning. So I see. People are asking me for links. There you go. You get a link, and you get a link. So what did you guys think of the discussion in the live chat there? And maybe Ganesh can kind of tell me what he thinks of it as well. We had about 350 people watching or so, I think. Not too shabby, I think. Darwin says Robert was incredibly condescending. Well, you got to remember, Robert Sungenis, one, he's not a real PhD. I mean, it's unaccredited. And he and Rick have been doing this for a very, very long time, and they are very good at rhetoric. Matter of fact, this was the other point. Now, thank you for reminding me. When he pointed out to Dave, well, you can't prove relativity kind of thing. That's rhetoric, because you can't prove any scientific theory. They're not provable. You're not supposed to prove them. They're supposed to model and explain. And when he brought up the things like the atomic clocks, the way atomic clocks work has to do with the oscillations of a frequency of a specific atom. I believe it's cesium. I'm going to say 137, but I could be wrong on that. Cesium something or other. And when you're at higher altitudes, you have a different gravitational force, and so gravity and or speed will change how it affects things, especially when it comes to time, right? So time changes because of how fast you're going, and it also changes with respect to the gravitational field. So in general relativity, that's gravitational field, and then speed would be special theory of relativity, which, by the way, he formulated first. Einstein actually came up with special theory of relativity first. I believe it was 1905, and then in general theory, I think that was around 1916, if I had to guess, somewhere around there. So let's see, who else we got here? Anarchy. Welcome. What do you think about the discussion? Okay, you're gonna have to unmute. Ganesh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what do you think then?
Yep. Oh, hey, sorry. There we
go.
Okay.
All right, screw Ganesh. You can wait. No. What do you guys?
No, I was on the wrong window at the moment. I missed some of it, but yeah.
You don't find it was interesting? I mean, this was a long time coming. These two guys. I mean, they had been going back and forth on written discussions for several years. If you go to Geocentrism Debunked, or you go to even Sungenis' pages, they've had at it for quite some time, and they're both big names in this movement. I mean, Geocentrism is literally led by Robert Sungenis and Rick Delano, and I've talked to Rick prior to him coming on the Non Sequitur show. I had been in correspondence with him when he made the movie The Principal on the Principal movie on YouTube with him and one of these other guys named Mark Wyatt. And I always found him to be pretty respectful. So I got to give him props for that. And even Robert tonight, he was cool to me, right? I mean, he wasn't condescending to me, and I appreciate that. Superman! Oh, this is kinky.
What up
with that, man?
What's that?
This is kind of kinky. You're coming in here with a Superman top on, and
I can take it off.
No, that's cool. No, I know it's weird to believe, but I actually am straight. I'm one of the few straight men left in the world. So any women out there that say they can't find a straight guy, hey, I'm it. I'm all you got. Take what you can get, okay?
Except for my sexuality allows for women, but
yeah, you're fluid. Yeah.
So.
Did you watch the discussion?
I got to see probably the first 30 minutes to 45, and then I had to run out for a client meeting and then come back and try and set up when you sent me that link. Because as you can possibly see, I'm trying to cover up the part that right now is missing. I'm redoing my set. So I got a corner piece to go there in the wall. But yeah. So working on that.
I'm doing a little set thing too, but we tried something else today. If you noticed, Kyle and I both had images we were using.
Yeah.
So we're filling with that a little bit. I'm getting a different kind of green screen, and we want to do a little bit more too. So
I think that green screen thing's going to be cool. So once this is all said and done, it should only take a button, which will raise and lower my desk to go from a sitting to a standing set. So that's going to be nice, because I spend way too much time on my ass every day right now.
Yeah, you do a lot of things with your ass. Okay, so
every day.
I heard about your weekends. Yeah. So let's see here. Sweet Heathen says it wasn't the most stimulating discussion. Well, I think it kind of was. I mean, you got to remember this conversation they had, if you don't know a lot about physics and relativity, a lot of it didn't make sense. If you don't know what SAGNet is, you don't know what maximum Morley is, you don't know what ether theories is, yes, I can understand it's going to be very confusing. But to me, I was in fucking nerd heaven.
Yeah. So some of the things I saw, first of all, he does specially plead to relativism and then throws it out the door. His own definition of relativism, if he did actually hold to it, makes everything meaningless because he literally, his thing was like, yeah, that proves that it's a geocentric model because relativism says that you could make a model with anything basically being the center of your universe. So you could make Mars not move at all and then show the relative motion of everything else around it. But it makes it so meaningless.
I'm so glad he did that though, because I remember I asked him and I broke it down and I explained the science a little bit, and I asked him straight out, and he was honest about it. I really respect him for that, believe it or not. I asked him the same question. Well, why would this not work for anywhere else? And what makes Earth special? And he deferred to what?
Relativity.
Bible.
Or
No.
I may have
No,
missed
the
that.
Bible.
That might have been after I left.
What did he
Right.
refer to? Anybody?
The Bible.
The church. Yeah, the church.
Yeah.
He really did. Oh, Zero. Of course you get a mod. Come on, dude. You all your super chat. I mean, you can't buy mod for super chat, but if I like you get super chat. I mean, so you get a mod. Yeah,
I don't think you should say you can't buy mod. Just be like, Zero doesn't actually set the standard. Y'all start dropping some $1,000 donations, and you get a mod on any channel you want.
Yeah, that's true. For $1,000, man, I'll shit. You can own my channel. Just give it to you.
It's yours.
It's yours. I'm done. No, I don't like pay to play. Right? I mean, if people want to donate because they like the content, that's great, and I enjoy that. But I don't ever want to do this pay to pay. We kind of tried that a little bit with the roulette, and I didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable with it, and that kind of just went over. And so, no, I mean, like I said, if people want a wrench, and I've known them for a decent enough time, I'm okay with it. I just want to have a sea of blue. And by the way, I do go through every so often, and I clear out all my mods for the most part. It's just I could do it once or twice a year, and it's nothing to anybody, but anybody's been on the channel for now, you got to do it every so often.
I want a non-sec wrench, mostly because every time I come in, somehow I get 90 questions in a row. And lately on your channel, the first couple are you gay? But slow mode is on. And so I'm like, can I have a non-sec wrench so I can answer all of these questions in a timely fashion? That's one of the reasons I like wrenches too. Is I don't really do anything for timing people out on other people's channels unless it's really egregious, like an actual spam bot troll. But I just hate having that fucking 7-8 second timeout when you do more. Yeah. So you don't like slow modes. Yeah. It's apparently, even though I've been doing nothing but answering directly about my sexual orientation for the last week, people have more questions than ever. So that's been.
Why is this such a topic? I'm kind of curious. I mean, dude, I like you. Don't get me wrong. I think you're amazing. I really enjoy it. We may not agree on a lot of stuff, but I like your format.
I don't think we disagree. I think we agree on way more than we disagree on.
Yeah. That's why I like you. But your sexuality seems to be like a big point, and I don't understand why. Nobody talks about my sexuality a lot because I have none, but still, it's not an issue.
So I'm going to put the rule down that I'm going to answer this, but when I answer it, no one's allowed to ask me any questions related to gender because I should not be the person you're asking gender questions. I'm cis. I identify with what I was assigned with at birth, but that's been happening a lot too. But whenever I talk about being pansexual, meaning that in relation to identity, I'm not just attracted to men and women. I'm also attracted to non-binary people, trans women, trans men. And that's the difference between what's that?
Farm animals.
No, see, that's what people do. Well, that's the funny thing with pansexual. There was this sort of older version of the term. I won't call it the clinical term version because I don't think it was ever that. But the oldest version of the term was basically nothing stops me from being attracted to a person if I fall for them. And so people would in the past go, ooh, this seems like a cover for pedophilia, which it was never used for pedophilia. No. So I do specify age does matter to me. I'm most attracted to people within 3 or 4 years of each side of me, though on the older side of me, I'd actually say I probably go out maybe like a decade but only 3 or 4
older
years.
women, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I thought was weird. Okay, I thought about this today, and I don't know how we're getting on this topic. We're only going to do this for a few more minutes, but I'm curious.
Sure.
Whenever Mr. Atheist comes in, it comes up, right?
No gender questions.
No. Gender question to you. I actually thought about this today because And now you get stuff recommended by YouTube, right? And
yeah.
one of the things I've been was from I think Lacey Green, and because I've been doing all this stuff with Peterson and some SJW stuff, and so they recommended this video, and it was like she was talking like 5 transsexual males.
Okay.
And there is no goddamn way in hell I would have said that these were transsexuals. They were fully men to me, right? I mean, there's just no way. But hang on one sec. So I thought to myself, even though they have female genitalia,
maybe they may not anymore.
Well, okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some of them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We don't know.
I don't know. I guess you can make a. Yeah, I guess you can do it either way. But I mean, so they were transitioning from women to men, and I swear, if you could not tell, they were completely passable as men. I mean, it looks like Mr. Atheist. He looks like a dude, right? For the most part.
There's a lot about as far as I said, I'm not going to talk about gender and I meant transitions too, but I'll just go with that makes you one of the good ones. And anytime you find out somebody is a trans man, just treat them like a man and don't worry about
totally. Yeah, totally. But here's my quandary. Here's where I like to think about hypothetical shit. I know people get on me for that, but you know what? I think you learn from having mind experiments, right? And if you look at somebody like what is her name? The one that Jacqueline Glenn has all the time. What's her name? Gorgeous transsexual. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Come on, help me out.
I don't watch Jacqueline Glenn. She's a hack.
She's gorgeous. I think she's freaking stunning.
She might be attractive, but I have not. It's been a while since I've been able to completely look over ginormous character flaws just because they're hot.
Yeah, I agree. She has, but anyway, she has
Riley.
She's Riley. Yeah.
She is a 9/11 truther also. So
I don't agree with a lot of things, but I think she's hot. Yeah. I'm thinking of what's her full name?
Riley?
No, Claire. No, not is it Riley Claire?
I don't know.
Anyways, I've seen some beautiful women that they look passable, completely passable as women.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm thinking to myself, what is more important to me? What is Riley's full name? Anybody remember?
I don't know.
Okay, but if I had to make if you had a decision between somebody that had kind of female genitalia but looks completely masculine. I mean, these guys were masculine, or somebody that's very, very feminine, looks just like a woman, just happens to have a penis.
Mm-hmm.
What would I be more? If I had to pick one, which way would I go? And I'm got to tell you, I would have to go with the one that looks like a woman.
Yeah,
well,
Riley Dennis.
You might
Dennis.
also,
that's what it is. Riley Dennis.
Riley Dennis. Okay, yeah. No. I know who Riley Dennis is. I'm not attracted to her.
Yeah.
The other one.
You might find so it was actually through
Blair White. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, it was actually through some of these sort of experimental phases with people with non-traditional genders that I found out that things can and do work for me and that I like. And there were things that I already knew and needed to experiment with, but that it broadened my horizon. So you might find that if you find the right dick to suck, you might be down to suck a lot more dicks.
I think that would probably be a no. Not going to happen. I mean, I've gone 48 years without that happening, so I think I could probably make the rest of the way. But I mean, think about it. These hypothetical questions are legit questions. Would you rather have somebody that is physically completely look like a male, but happens to have a female genitalia downstairs? Mm-hmm. Or would you rather have something like Blair White, who I think is fucking gorgeous? I mean, she is fucking hot. She happens to have a male equipment. So I mean, I had to actually think about that. I'm like, well,
it kind of starts to feel like a would you. It kind of feels like a would you rather game almost.
Sure,
I'd probably wait to have those games until we but we have a good understanding of it all. Because I think right now, it like any trans individual who would jump down on the stream, be like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, don't ever ask me that on your show, because I'll be like I just said. In fact, I'm never going to say this if we were actually live. I know we're off air right now. Oh shit. So I mean, I don't know. I thought about that the other day. So I was like, okay, back on topic. So how are we going to play these?
I mean, you mean to tell me that wasn't our topic?
Do you mind if I bring up my topic that I messaged you about real quick?
Yeah, I don't mind. Okay, but before we do, everybody who's watching, go pee real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Just step out. Come back in about 5 minutes.
Go urinate.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you guys needing to go pee?
They're gonna get, because they hate this topic. But He did ask me, and I said,
I actually think people will. It's one of those questions where you're like, okay, I know his position, and so now the question starts with granting the premise, which is already granted by me. You know that if we're having a conversation about philosophy, of course, I'm going to give you the philosophical term. If we're talking conversationally, then you and I might debate about which one's more useful, but that's not it at all. So we're going to start with granting the premise of philosophical atheist. It's not even granting the premise. The definition of philosophical atheist is as you've defined it. In other words, so it'll start there. But are we waiting for people to pee, or are you ready to jump in?
A few of them said, we love this channel so much, I just want to pee my pants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Mr. Serious, I'll just pee my pants. I'm not even making that up.
Okay.
They can't miss any of this, I guess. So.
Oh, but Sweet Heathen is taking a moment.
Yeah, she doesn't like this channel that much. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Even though I just gave her a wrench.
It's kind of a hypothetical, and what I think is an interesting hypothetical. Are we waiting for Sweet Heathen, or are we
No. She.
Okay.
Yeah,
So a philosophical atheist is a person who denies the existence of all gods, but more than denies, says in the affirmative there are no gods. Correct? Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing.
Right.
If you deny something, you are making a positive assertion that is the case ontologically that gods don't exist, right?
So I kind of had this hypothetical in my head where I was like, if this happened and they accepted it, would that have avoided them in the past ever being a philosophical atheist? And so it's basically just very simply, if some entity were to appear, and for people who don't know, I'm Mr. Atheist, so I am an atheist. I'm not doing the, well, what if you're wrong bullshit. If an entity were to appear and to the satisfaction of, say, people like you and me who are, you're a philosophical agnostic, by your definition, so am I. I always say I have strong atheist leanings, but I'm technically a weak atheist, colloquially.
Yeah.
You know,
you understand the differences, and that's 99% of the battle with me.
Yeah.
If somebody understands the differences, I'm fine with it at that point. But go ahead.
So this entity has sufficiently proven to our satisfaction that they are some kind of God. I won't even go with Christian God. It could be the person who's running the simulation and he's playing us like a fucking game of Sims. He shows up and we go, well, fuck, I'm not atheist, not agnostic anymore. Here's our God, we're theists. Would a person who is a philosophical atheist, who claims to be a philosophical atheist, have to still, in the light of all of that evidence, deny that this is a God?
Oh, this question is great.
Never a philosophical.
Oh my God. You don't even know how much I actually like you. I mean, not sexually, but I like you all. And this is a wonderful question, because I actually have a blog that I wrote on this particular piece. And if you haven't read it, it's called The Principle of Attribution and Retraction.
Okay.
And you can find it on the Great Debate Community webpage, and I'll send it to you in a minute.
Yeah, of course.
But this is a great question, because it goes to the heart of what we mean between a belief and a knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Beliefs can be wrong. Knowledge cannot be wrong. There is no such thing as false knowledge. You just were mistaken about your knowledge, right? You didn't have knowledge to begin with. And so we attribute certain things, and then we retract them if the belief is wrong. For example, like you said, I believe there are no gods. Let's say I was a philosophical atheist. I believe there are no gods.
And that is the claim of I believe, not I have a knowledge, philosophical atheism.
Right, just a belief. It's called doxastic and not an epistemic claim of knowledge. And knowledge is a different degree. But so if I say I believe there are no gods, and look and behold, a God comes down, and I go, well, shit, I was wrong. So all that means is my belief was wrong. I changed my beliefs. People change their beliefs all the time. We always do this. Now, if I make the claim, which some theists do, or some atheists do, either one, and I say, I know God doesn't exist.
Right.
And then God comes down, and I say, oh, look, there's a God. At that point, I can now believe there's a God. I can be a theist, but I never had knowledge to begin with. That knowledge that I thought I had was an incorrect belief I had about the knowledge.
It was a belief that you mistook for okay, gotcha.
Correct. And so, like I said, I'll send you the link to my blog on that. But go to a Great Debate Community webpage, www.greatdebatecommunity.com, and it's called The Principle of Attribution and Retraction. And so, no, if you're a philosophical atheist, you can change. Anybody can change their position, right? I mean, you can go, oh, shit, new data came in. I now believe.
Would you say if everyone had as much of that understanding as, say, they have the understanding of colloquial atheism, would you say that if everyone had that understanding, you might be more comfortable if people even just accidentally called you an atheist, and you might go, fair enough, or is it still a belief you're not?
It doesn't bother me when people accidentally call me an atheist, or if I get lumped in with them, because look, I'm on the top 40 atheist thing, right? From
Right.
Buzz or whatever, and that's not a big accomplishment because it's kind of localized shit, but whatever. But I'm not an atheist channel, but I'm on there, so I'm fine with that. I mean, I hang out with mostly secular people. We all have the same goals. I'm just labeling it what it is philosophically. Some of them say, you know what? I don't accept there's a deity, but I don't accept there's not a deity. I just don't give it a position on that particular proposition. They call that weak atheism, like you do. I call that Gnosticism. It doesn't really matter. It's the concepts, right?
Right.
Why take the labels? The reason why I don't take the label of atheism, and this bugs the fuck out of me when somebody says, you just don't want to be called an atheist because of the stigma. No, I don't give a shit about that. I assure you. My God, have you seen my channel? You think I give a crap if people think I'm an atheist? No. Look
at his haircut and tell anyone that he cares.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that they think that they applies to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, most people actually go to the way to be called atheists, even though they're philosophically agnostics. So that's not a really great argument with me. But I want to be epistemically correct. Okay. And I feel that even if you promote atheism, it is a much stronger position against a theist to take a strong atheist viewpoint. It's a better argument.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting then, because I think you've answered that you're going to stay consistent, but now I think that means I'm going to change, and I'm going to read your full blog completely. But at the beginning of this conversation, I would have said, when we agree on which set of terms we're using, I'm a philosophical agnostic. But if philosophical atheism is retractable when disproven, then I think I'm probably comfortable being called a philosophical atheist.
Well, I mean, okay, the easiest way to figure it out is this, and you don't have to think too much on it, but do you think there's a high probability that the universe contains no gods?
Yes.
Then then say, look, I believe there are no gods in the universe. So what? Cool. I can tell you how to justify that pretty easy if you want to know.
Oh, I mean, I've got a few different, but you
know the arguments. You could when a person says, okay, this is the theist rhetoric that they do sometimes. They'll say, hey, Mr. Atheist, you are not justified to be an atheist unless you can prove there is no God. That's when you look at them and say, fuck you, go read a book on philosophy.
That's when I just push their head down. Here's something more useful for you to do with your mouth.
Yeah, because
just kidding. That's assault, and I do not endorse assault.
Well, it depends if they give you the safe word.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But dude, I know a lot of atheists that fall for that. They're like, well, I don't want to call myself an atheist because I don't have justification because I can't prove there's no God. There's always a possibility. So the fuck what?
Beliefs aren't proofs.
Beliefs are not proofs. Beliefs do not require certainty. Beliefs only require convincement or convincing that the proposition is true or false. That's it. And that's easy to do. It is so easy to justify atheism. It's pathetic. I mean,
though, I think the conversation we just had, I think there are a number of people we had we had that conversation during the debate we had, I think that would have clarified some things that we didn't clarify. And I think you would have found both Eric and I not as far away from you in the usefulness of terms then.
Yeah, a lot of people have knee-jerk reactions. I mean, but do I sound like I'm somehow clueless on all this?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, because I get that.
I asked you as I trusted that you would have the correct answer.
Well, I don't know if there's a correct answer, but it's not like I haven't done my research on this.
Right.
I mean, in fact, I wanted to have another hangout. I was going to have it tonight, but this took precedence. We're going to be doing a hangout on Cosmic Skeptics video. Now, I don't do reviews of people videos that I like, right? I only shit talk Conquer Posse members and crap like that. But I like Alex a lot. I think he's wonderful. I think he's horribly, horribly wrong. And everybody that I've talked to thinks, or that knows philosophy, thinks he's horribly, horribly wrong. And Dr. Alex Malpass still is not going to forgive me for showing him that video because he damn near killed himself. He wrote a blog on it. I mean,
what was the proposition of the video?
Cosmic Skeptic thinks that there is no objective morality, and the reasoning for it he has is fucking ridiculous. It is so bad to the point of being comical. And Rationality Rules is coming out on it. I know a few other people have. Rationality Rules is doing a video on it. And I talked to Rationality Rules and I said, this is my opinion. I think what he's doing is just basically boiling everything under what's called subjective relativism.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I brought that to Dr. Malpass's attention, and he did a blog on it, and he worded it much better than I can because, he's Malpass.
It's
But-
almost not to shit on somebody I don't know at all, but it almost reminds me of the way Christians go to like straight to solipsism questions the moment you go they're wrong. It's like, well, either I'm wrong or do we even really know any of us exist? Like that's a bit arrogant. That's a little
I
much.
don't know if you exist. You're an external mind.
Yeah.
But Cosmic Skeptic has a big channel, and he's a smart fucking kid. The guy is intelligent as shit. He's just fundamentally wrong on his argumentation, because what he's arguing, he's confusing the belief with the content of the belief. And let me explain what I mean by that. If I say, I believe 1 + 1 is 3, okay, and you say I don't believe 1 + 1 is 3, does that change the objective fact that 1 + 1 = 2? No.
Yeah.
Content of the belief 1 + 1 = 2 is a fact. It's an ontological fact, right? Just because I can believe that's wrong and you can believe that's right, we're subjective on that.
Right.
Doesn't mean that the content is untrue. And so what he's trying to do is saying, well, objective morality doesn't exist because I can believe that the moral is right and somebody else can believe that it's wrong, and he messes up a whole bunch of stuff. He finds it really weird on good and evil. Even more, that said that you can't really define good in a kind of conceivably useful way. And so he's saying, since I could be subjective on what I think is objective morality can't exist. No, you're conflating beliefs with the content of the belief.
No, that means
it's a hard argument.
That only proves your ability to be wrong, not your ability to. Yeah, it doesn't change anything about an objective morality to subjective.
Thank you. Real quick, there's a difference between objective morality and absolute morality. People get this confused. Absolute is opposite of relative. Subjective is opposite of objective. And so I am perfectly fine with objective morals existing. Moral facts exist. However, I like to tend to error theory, which is actually an anti-moralistic position that says they don't exist for error reasons. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree to the same thing. There's a big difference between absolute and objective, but also it is I will say most of the time, if I'm going to get into this debate with usually a theist, I will propose that I think objective reality absolutely can exist, but in the end, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't care if
it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
I agree with you on that, dude. And I said the same thing to Kyle the other day. I said, look, the whole quagmire of objective and subjective morality has been bastardized from day one. I mean, even Specificity Redeemed has an argument about that, and people get it confused. And by the way, one of the other things Cosmic gets wrong, or at least weird, he uses objective like 5 different ways, and one of the ways he's using is like scientific objective, like I'm objective in my not having bias kind of thing. That's not how it's used in this terminology for being mind independent and what you ought to do. And he's confusing moral duties with moral obligations too, and that's weird. But anyways,
it's just like Princess Bride. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
I don't think it means what you think it means. What was the other thing I was going to ask you about? I'm
trying to figure out what this white spot is.
Anyways, though, like I said, I think, like you said, I don't think it really matters whether objective morals exist. It's more of your positions. There is no really right or wrong answer. I don't think it's if you want to have an objective moral framework, then more objective morals exist. Whatever. But you know what I hate is when an atheist says objective morals don't exist, and then he gives some dumbass reason. That's stupid, because this has been going on for a very long time with philosophers of moral realism versus moral anti-realism, and you're not going to solve it by what Cosmic Skeptic did, because I got to tell you, Malpass did not think that was a good argument. If you go read his blog, he wasn't. And I love Alex Malpass. Okay, where are we moving on to? How do we get these videos played or these voicemails played?
Oh, are you doing the ex-roommate's voicemails?
Yeah. You guys want to know the background on this real quick, and then we can figure out who can do this for us? Yeah. So while I'm looking for somebody, if you can come in and play these voicemails for us, let me know, and I'll give you the background.
Just hold it to your microphone? I mean, that's what I do.
I guess I could. Yeah, no, you know what? I guess I could. If I have to, I'll put the headphones to the mic, and we'll try that. Okay.
Decent time. I'm okay with it. I just want to have.
That's when I put my phone to my mic. It usually works.
Well, I don't have them on my phone.
Oh, okay.
But I have my headphones.
Gotcha.
So let me give you a backstory. So this guy moved in a long time ago, and from day one, I knew something was wrong. I was like, this guy is just not normal. And I know not normal, right?
You majored in it, really?
Yeah, I mean, trial by fire. So I definitely knew that something was not up with this guy, because he just was like, oh, well, yeah, I worked for Fortune 500 companies, and I excelled in mathematics. And when I would ask him, some math question, he's like, oh, well, it's been so long. I'm like, I learned that in 5th grade. Okay. And so, anyways, we evicted him. I mean, he would call the sheriff's department because we were using his bathroom, even though it wasn't his bathroom. It's a communal bathroom. We have 2 showers in the house. One's in the master bedroom that the landlord has, and the other one that I share with the guys upstairs. And there's only 2 up there. Not a big deal. But
Right.
he, for some reason, would take over the bathroom and literally stay in the bathroom for several hours so we couldn't use it.
Yikes.
Yeah, really weird, right? And then one time he changed the doorknobs, and I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm taking a goddamn shower. It's hot here. I live in California. Believe me, you swelter to death if you don't shower. So the landlord took the lock off, right, on the bathroom door. He calls the sheriff's department and says, well, they did this to the door and stuff like that. They're like, sir, it's his property. It's not in your room. It's not part of what you're renting. It's so they were like, oh, fuck this guy. Well, anyways, long story short, he'd been calling to move back in, right? And he had some stuff here. He had a suit that he claims was $10,000 suit. It's a Macy's suit. It's called Kenneth Cole Reaction. They run about $120 for an average suit. Not a bad looking suit for $100. I'll give him that. But it's not a $10,000 suit like he's claiming. Mm-hmm. And he claims that he has a supermodel ex-girlfriend. He claims that his family's worth $30 million. Was
your roommate Job from Arrested Development?
Do you know who Von Helton is?
Sure. The guy in the $10,000 suit. Come on.
I need to start watching that. You know who Von Helton is, right?
No.
Wow, really? Oh my God. We need to expose you to Von Helton. Von Helton has all these fantastical things as well. Well, this guy claims he won like 30 gold medals in the Olympics, and I've read some of his letters on air. Well, anyways, he decided to sue. So we went to court the other day. Let me tell you what happened in court. They first went to the mediator, because things try to get resolved before they see the judge. That lasted about 10 minutes. And I found out later that the negotiator was telling the guy, you aren't even making any sense here. But they went to the judge. And so this is what happened. So they went up there, and this guy's name is Michael. The judge said, okay, Mike, what was his last name? He's like, Michael, so you are suing the defendant for $9,000. You claim that you were illegally evicted. I have the paperwork in front of me of what appears to be a completely lawful eviction. What's your story? And he's like, well, they never gave me anything. One day I was in my underwear and they came over and escorted me off the property. And the judge was like, so you were never served a 30-day. You were never served an unlawful retainer. He's like, no. He's like, I find that very difficult to believe because I have signed copies right here from the sheriff's department. And you're saying that the sheriff's department just, for some reason, escorted you off the property without doing any kind of, process. He's like, was that possible? Sure. I could, and something along the lines of him, shit silver dollars of his ass or something. I don't know. He didn't say that, but whatever it was. It's possible, but not going to happen. And then he said, so he's like, so that's obviously it was a lawful eviction. He said, well, what do you have that you have itemized for $9,000 worth of merchandise from the defendant? He's like, this, and this. Is like, what, do you have a list? He's like, no. He's like, did you make a list? He's like, yes, I did. Okay, where is it? Well, I don't have it with me. And I swear to God, the people in the back of the courthouse were cracking up hysterically.
Way to prepare for court.
He didn't have a single piece of paper with him. We bought in boxes of stuff. I mean, just like he had written 1,000 letters to us. So anyways, he kept interrupting the judge. The judge said, do you have a final statement? And he's like, the defendant here, he still has my stuff, and I need to get back in and move back in, blah, blah. He's like, no, that's not going to happen. And you're done. And then he started talking again. He's like, sir, you're done. And he's like, judgment for the defendant. Well, 5 o'clock in the morning the next day, guess what? We get a phone call. And I will play you that message last. So I have about 7 voicemails from this guy. So you guys get to see how psychotic this guy is. Now, when I play these voicemails, give you a little backstory. He gets me and the other guy confused that you lived here. He calls his cousin It and the creature from the Black Lagoon. And the other guy lived in the living room, and he basically had a little air mattress on the floor. I mean, I have a small room, but I have a cot, army cot, and I like it. It's great. It's great for my back. But he gets us confused all the time, and he's like, saying this guy was upstairs singing in the shower kind of thing. I don't sing in the shower. Right? Whatever. So
I do.
Nuts.
Loud, very loudly too.
Do you know what song straight people sing in the shower?
Nope.
Yeah, go figure. Oh yeah.
No clue.
No clue.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Reds. Let me get Reds in here real quick. Oh, shit. I just don't want to. Hey, Reds, maybe Reds knows how to do this. Could you figure out how to play the video, or to me, the audio clips? Reds, I just sent you a link. Help us out here. I really suck at playing stuff over Hangouts. I've never been able to figure it out. I've sat there prior to this Hangout on Voicemeter with Ganesh, and he's Indian, and he should know tech support. He can't walk me through it.
Yo, I can walk you through it. You just suck at tech.
I suck at
my
tech. I'm gonna blame you anyways.
So far,
I have Voicemeter for my streaming setup, so you can't blame me.
Why don't you just log in my computer and do it for me like a good tech?
To recap, we've covered making trans jokes, now racist jokes, and we're about to make fun of the mentally disabled. So
that'll be tomorrow night.
I mean,
we do that all the time. What's that, Ganesh?
No, at this point, I just expected from Steve. Like, he always makes an Indian joke.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I love your voice. I do. I'm not lying. It's sultry. It's like I said, it's like smooth organic butter.
Nobody tell him that Red's actually Mexican.
Oh yeah, his like. Oh, by the way, thank you, Fred. My friend, they know more about this story than I do. Yes, he claims his IQ is 246.
You just don't understand them clearly.
Clearly, I'm not smart enough.
240. Go at least for something obtainable. Like here's something that'll explain my quirks away. Like I've got an IQ of 145. At that point, you could be like, I'll look for reasons you're smart, and if you're weird, I'll get it. Instead, he's just all weird, no smart.
Is 140 still considered genius or pre-genius or something?
I think a 130 and above is.
Yeah. See, I never really talk about this kind of stuff, but when you take the ASVAB, there's actually a chart that converts ASVAB scores to related intelligent quotient, right?
Yep.
And a perfect score of 99, the highest it goes up to was 145. And so generally, I just say my IQ is between 130 and 145. So that's fine. And I think that's most people around here. I think we're all above average. Nobody's going to claim it. And none of us think we're genius level. I know I'm not. But we're not stupid. I mean,
in my early 20s, I did the whole get tested for some psychology and therapy stuff. And my reaction, because I scored high, was to tell everybody. And it turns out those people suck. People who just bring up their IQ out of nowhere, always douchebags.
Yeah, and it's always flat earthers going, oh, well, I'm really smart. I study physics, and I know what gravity is. No, you really don't.
As I got older, I decided I'd rather just be smart or appear to be smart, at least fool everybody, than fucking do
I don't care if people think I'm smart. I honestly don't. I just don't like people thinking I'm stupid because, I mean, we've seen what stupid is. I mean, it's like a tangible quality of people. You can smell it on them.
I hate being condescended to. And another thing I really, really hate, this is a pet peeve of mine. All right. So somebody's just told a concept to you and you give them a bit of a look and you're clearly trying to figure it out. So they try and help you bridge the gap with a metaphor. Fine. They finish the metaphor. They think you need 2 or 3 more. Fuck you. 1 metaphor is enough. It was probably too much in the first fucking place, but let's just stick to the 1 goddamn metaphor.
How about this? I'll speak slower for you.
Oh, yeah, it was a speed thing.
The Kent-Owen method.
Yeah, the Kent-Owen method. Hey, Reds, can you help us out, brother? Because I'm an idiot.
I didn't bring any condoms.
No, that's after. Dude, that's the after show.
I
got to figure out how to play these 7 voicemails. Oh, I guess I could try. Let me see if I can do it.
Just do what I do. Just blast the shit on speakerphone and hold it up to the mic.
That's what I said.
Mike, I got your text message.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah. I didn't do anything about that as far as any arrangements because it was after 6. Now, it's a bit early, 7 o'clock in the morning. And what I have to do is I have to move back in. I won't really need you to drive me. I'll use other arrangements. And I got to go to personal storage. I had no choice because everything was being ripped off. And a lot of things to move back in. I should move in between 11 a.m. and no later than 2 p.m. Between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. window. And those 3 hours. And I move everything back in. I do inventory checks, and then we go down and we do everything on the computer and determine everything even we'll get a text message, and everything will be worked out. Signed by you, signed by me. This way it doesn't have to go to court. Tell the judge they worked it out, and lawsuit's dismissed. That's the way it has to be done. Now, I need the air conditioner on starting at 9 o'clock to keep up with the heat, so it's nice and cool in there when I move in. And I need my refrigerator freezer plugged in right away. The microwave, you don't really have to. And then those are the important things, so I can move. I already went shopping again, because everything I left there, everything was taken from me actually I had to replace. That was up there. So I had to get all that sorted out first, and then we go down on the computer. We work everything else out. Like adults, like adults in maturity, and not this idiotic nonsense that's been going on.
Okay, now, let me clarify a few things. One, this was well after he was evicted. After these all voicemails came in just a couple days before we went to court, and then afterwards, and a couple of them were a little bit threatening, and I'm telling you, the last one's the worst. But if you don't hear from me for several days, you know fucking why, because I've read his letters on air, and people can remember his writing. And somebody said he speaks the way he writes. Fucking delusional.
He sounds like the guy who calls into all of those, those like radio shows that are clearly fake, but they're trying to get conspiracy theorists to call in. He's like the guy who's always calling in. Last night around 3 a.m. I went out to use the bathroom outside because that's perfectly normal to do in the city. And what I saw was these lights in the sky, and then they rearranged themselves to say Goodyear blimp. And I knew that was a sign from the aliens telling me I was going to have a good year.
It had to be intelligently designed, at least, right?
I know it was that because I have an IQ of 246. So what am I going to do? Get it wrong? The guy in the $10,000 suit? Come on.
You guys got a better memory of this than that guy. By the way,
I just use prank dial, honestly. I still have that call recorded, by the way. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, oh my God, the call that you had. No. The guy that called in and he thought he was talking to you.
No.
The secretary.
No. The story was that when he was in my live chat, it was clear that this guy was a troll and he was just, being an absolute idiot. So what I told him was going to happen is that, I would debate him whenever the fuck I wanted. And that day was not that day. But he decided to do the most idiotic thing you could do on the internet. And he posted his phone number in the live chat. And so, like a dumbass, he just posted it and thought that I was going to give him a call. So what I said I would do in like a very monotone voice was like, okay, you know what? I'm on a hangout. I can't really break away from this thing else. So I'm just going to have my girlfriend call him. And everyone's like, you're going to have your girlfriend call this guy? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll just have my girlfriend call him. That's perfectly fine. I'll just have my girlfriend call him. And so they're like, oh, okay. So you're going to do that. So I said, yeah. And so that's what happened.
Hello.
Red's girlfriend. He won't answer his own.
Yeah, hello.
Calling. Holy shit, what a bitch.
Yeah, who is this?
This is Andrew motherfucking Evie, dude.
I want to know who you are.
Okay, I just told you my name. You can
look
look me
I
up.
have seen your number on my man's cell history.
Exactly.
Yes,
I'm
I do.
challenging him to a fucking face. I'm challenging him to a debate.
Why are you calling my boyfriend?
I'm not calling him. I'm on his fucking
What is going
live
on?
web chat right now. Okay?
How long has this been going on for?
Oh, like 2 minutes. He's a bitch. He won't even fucking take a
I cannot
debate.
believe you.
You won't take a debate.
You
Why
tell
won't
me
he
the
take a
truth.
debate? Why won't he take a debate?
I'll be right back, guys.
PlayDial.com.
I think crazy roommate's here. So if I don't come back, no, I'm not even kidding.
Scramble the
I'll be right
jets.
back.
We get it.
Private message me your address. I'll call your police.
Yeah. So basically, he's not actually there anymore. So yeah, there. Okay. So we're gathered here today to remember Steve McRae.
Mhm.
He was a good soul, good gentleman. He had a very small penis, but we overlooked that.
This is going to be the worst if he actually turns up dead. Like it turns out his roommate's watching the YouTube stream and is actually showing up. And in a moment, we're going to hear, "Oh my God, he has an axe!" Because the motherfucker wouldn't show up with a gun.
False alarm. False alarm. Too bad. But anyways, that voicemail that you just played, fucking hilarious, dude.
That's so
Every time I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, that's just so perfect because you just see. He doesn't fucking have a clue what's going on.
This is Andrew motherfucking Evie.
It's like you've just been pranked by PrankDial.com, and at that point, it's like, wait, what?
What? I don't understand. Was that Rex talking? Or was he pretending to be a girl? I don't get it.
I just picked a random bot to call him, and I was like, okay, there's a cartoon chick with really big tits. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see what happens. And you know what? It worked like a fucking charm.
I have to go at about 5 after the hour, so let's get to the juicy voicemails.
Well, these are only 2 minutes apiece, so
okay, cool.
Okay, here we go. We'll play another one. Ready?
Yeah.
John, this is Mike. Again, I called this morning. I got your text message, and the situation is I have to know if the air conditioner is installed and on, and the refrigerator plugged in. The refrigerator, freezer. You said storage. So that what all the lies about Cousin It saying if my $10,000 suit was given to the Salvation Army, my he was given away to an idiot friend of his, and all that all that's a lie. He was telling lies. In other words, you still have everything. Anyway, I just have to know if those 2 particular items, the air conditioner, the temperature outside, it's got to be, air conditioner's got to be on, and the refrigerator freezer has got to be installed. Hooked up, not the microwave, but the refrigerator freezer has to be plugged in to build up the coolant. And with the temperature, because I went shopping again. And the situation is, then I got to do inventory, and it's a lot to talk about as far as everything else. But I asked you to send me a text back saying you would agree and you would be there. I can't be driving all the way over there and the place is locked up. And so send me a text message like you did with the, you just did, saying that when you would be there and that you agreed that I would come there. I can drive there and everything, then I can come in the front door and I can just basically have my items moved back in from my personal storage too. All right, so send a text again. And the time frame today, I'm not sure if I can do it today. And I have to work on this as far as I need cooperation here.
He's got other places to be.
A lot to move, a lot of places I got to go first. Okay, so send the text and I'll wait for it.
Okay, now keep in mind, it is hot as shit out here where we're at, right? So he thinks this is his. Now, his family, his brother says this guy is completely mentally sane. He says he has no history of dementia. He's normal. We're the ones, the bad guys. His brother's like all on his, his side, going, "You guys are just blah 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 blah." I'm like, you don't even know how bad your brother really is. He needs help. But anyways, they swear he is not diagnosed with anything. That's why I can kind of do this and not feel guilty.
Yeah.
But, so
I don't understand the state of social delusion that one would have to have. You and I have talked about this before, Steve. It's one thing we have that I notice a lot of people don't is an appropriate level of shame. I cannot imagine wanting to force my way into living with people who clearly don't want me to live there.
You think?
Right?
That's one of the weird things too. But he thinks he's moving back in. He thinks the judge is. He thinks he's communicating with the judge, and that everything's been vacated. The judgment's been vacated. The unlawful eviction's been vacated. He's demanding that he gets moved back in, and the AC is on, ready for him. He gets picked up with AC running in the car. That's what he's referring to, even though he claims to have a brand new BMW that he's been driving with his supermodel ex-girlfriend Beverly Hills every weekend.
$10,000 down payment.
Oh, by the way, by the way, somebody mentioned this. Fuck yeah, I got the suit. Everything else got donated for the most part. But yeah, it's $100 suit, but it's not bad suit for $100. I'm not gonna lie. I'll throw it to you one of these days.
You should wear it on a stream one day.
You know what? I might. But I'll go look up Kenneth Cole reaction. There's no goddamn suit for Kenneth Cole reaction. It's $10,000. That was like Cole's for almost 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever it was. We didn't have $10,000 suits, and I know Macy's doesn't either. So
yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the next one. These are, like I said, they're not very long, so this
cool. I got about 4 minutes left.
Mike again. Listen, I discontinued, turned off my voicemail because I got way too many anonymous calls. So I'm marking other stupid calls. But strictly, I always get my text messages, but I can't deal with calls where I am because it's way too noisy. And, so send that text message that so I can make plans to drive over there. Okay? If you're not answering, why? Because you're not available? I gotta, this has gone on long enough. Just let me know. Send a text message showing when you are available. Be there.
You'll hear that each one of these gets progressively more aggressive too.
Real quick though, you know why he wants either you to answer his call or text message is he's recording when he calls, but he can't anticipate when you call to record, and then he thinks a text message is as good as a contract.
State,
right? What's that?
California's a two-party state. Both parties have to be known, but he left a voicemail so that you don't.
This guy thought he had a case to take you to court.
The judge read a couple letters because he asked him. He said, "Did you ever try getting your stuff back?" No, this guy never came back. He never tried getting his stuff within 15 days. What happened was he came over once, and John and I were sitting in the living room, the landlord, and all of a sudden this guy walks right into the door and proceeds to start going upstairs, and we're like, "What? No, dude, you're trespassing. You were evicted. Get the fuck out of here. If you want your shit, you've got to call ahead of time, give us notice, then you can come get your stuff, or you can contact your sheriff's department, and they will help you come get it. But you cannot come in this property without an invitation because you've been evicted. The sheriff's department specifically told him this. Do not come back on this property or you will be arrested." Now, we called the sheriffs, but they didn't get here in time, and so nothing happened. But in 15 days, he never tried getting his stuff. And he said, "Well, I sent John letters on this." And John said, "Well, I got letters from him, but not one of them demanded his stuff, and they were all pretty intimidating." And he read those letters that I read to you guys, that kind of format. And he said, the look on the judge's face was like, "Holy fuck," because he's like, "I don't see anything in here where you are asking for your stuff. Matter of fact, these are really confrontational letters." So,
fucking A. I got time for one more.
I know you got to go here, Mr. Atheist. Do you want to hear the best one last?
I really do want to hear it.
So, all right, here we go. And you can tell this is the one after the court hearing. The one before this, he was like, "I'm going to be taking your house, and you really don't want this to go to court because all the lawyer has all this stuff, and you're going to get screwed, and I'm going to have everything." So this is the one afterwards. So here.
Okay.
So you think you won in court for that little measly 9,000? Well, it just went up to 500,000. With my God, my law firm charges $5,000 an hour just for consultation. I'm turning these attorneys loose on you, both of you, not just you, cousin. That you two butt ugly retarded morons. Both of you. You have no money. He has less than no money. He
That's
lives in a
true.
closet.
And butt ugly and poor.
Sleeping on the fucking dirty floor. It will garnish any money you ever make to the end of time, and I will take your friggin' house, and you will be living up in the hills with Rocky in a tent.
Rocky's the dog.
As simple as this. This is your last chance. Because I don't, be honest with you, I don't want your house. And I feel sorry for Rocky, but I will take it. It's your last chance. Why? You start playing games with the judge? John, you have dementia problems. Sarah, you forget. We're driving, we're going to Walmart. Where are you going? You do a illegal U-turn. You almost kill 6 people. Then I tell you about law enforcement and the judge. You said, oh, local law enforcement, they'll just laugh when they see you drive like that. You have serious dementia problems. You didn't even forget. You knew the judge. You had the letters with a detailed list of what you stole from me. And you're playing your stupid games. You think you won? Because the judge is old and you're old? You think you can get by with that? Now it's $500,000. Your last chance, because like I said, I feel sorry for Rocky. I don't want your house, but I will take it. And the situation is this.
Now listen carefully, guys. This is the part where it gets fucking scary. Like I said, I told John, I said, if this guy comes in the house, I will take his ass down and wait for the police. I will fucking cold cock his ass, or I'll put him down on the ground, because this is a threat. So listen.
I'm moving back in immediately. I want my air conditioner with remote control installed and on. Then I'm going to come and do inventory and check. And if anything's missing, we're going to we're just going to go. We're not going to go shopping all at once. We're going to go shopping, and you're going to pay for everything. You got that? What part of that do you not understand? I am moving in. I better get a text message from you today confirming that. Otherwise, there's nowhere you two idiots can hide. My law firm will hound you from now to the end of time. It's already in place. The records that he was asking for, the witnesses, the list of witnesses, everything. My law firm has that complete detail. I just came from, who delivered the furniture. He's willing to sign depositions saying about what he saw in my room, the $10,000 suit I was wearing. I wouldn't want to be you.
He's gonna sue you.
So there you have it. So by the way, like I said,
end of time.
Yeah, time. Like I said, he's done. He's lost the court case. He's sued.
Yeah.
The judge said, he basically said, sir, this comes down to a credibility issue. You will not answer my questions directly. I ask you yes or no questions. You start talking about something else. You tell me that the sheriffs didn't do their job properly, yet I have all this paperwork that they did. I have no indication you ever try to get your property back. And he just dismissed it. And then, like I said, this guy's still threatening he's going to move back in. And like you said, Mr. Atheist, why would he want to? He knows we can't stand him.
Do you know who he actually reminds me of? Legitimately, the voice sounds like it and everything. Do you remember a few years back there was that girl Jessie Slaughter who was like,
yes.
And her dad came in and he's like, because I back traced it and the consequences will never be the same. That's who he reminds me exactly of. That's Jessie Slaughter's dad. You should go look at what he looks like and make sure it's not literally the same person.
But when he says I'm moving back in, I am taking that as he will be coming in this property. And he already tried to choke me once. Like I said, I came out of the bathroom one day and he grabbed my throat. And I took his ass down to the ground.
Yeah.
Literally just in a split second, I had him down on the ground in an arm bar. And I was like, you ever fucking touch me again, I will fucking knock your ass right out. He was scared shitless. I mean, he was shaking. I mean, he's an older guy, but you grab my throat, I don't give a fuck. You're going down.
Look, I know people usually hear a lot of liberal shit out of me, but get a gun, because he might just come at you with like the next time he knows that you can take him now. So the next time he might come at you with a knife or a weapon of some kind.
Oh no, we have firearms here, and I know my rights. I don't think I have to ever use deadly force with this guy unless Garcia had a weapon. Yeah. And I don't know what he's capable of, but I always try to seduce somebody first, right? I mean,
this hangout brought to you by the LCR LC9. I'm not paid to say that. I'm just a fan.
He just said he always tried to seduce people first.
So did I subdue?
You sure did. You said
Well,
seduce.
I'll tell you what, I'll bend him over. He won't come back in.
There you go. See, now you're talking. And this is why I made that warning at the very beginning that I don't have condoms.
Yeah.
I just imagined you like in like a silky robe, intellectual iconoclasm, so that I look way hotter without the man bun. Well, the man bun's convenient as fuck.
I'm not a fan of the man bun either.
Okay,
I
just a
like
minute.
all of the ways I do my hair. They all have their own.
Guys, I got some stuff to take care of, so I'm logging
I
out.
can ask.
I gotta head out too.
Yeah, I'm about ready to end this. Like I said, I got some more that I'll play later on another episode or on the Secular Show.
And by then there will be even more.
But I got to tell you, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Do I have concern or reason to be concerned that this guy plans to come over at some point and uninvited? And who knows? By the way, his shit is gone.
You have grounds for a restraining order now.
Oh, we're getting a TRO. We're getting a TRO next day or two. Yeah.
Good.
Definitely. Yeah. But he doesn't. He sent the cop over one time. And the cop is a friend of ours, and right now he's a friend of ours, and he's just like, just let me take pictures of his room to show him this fucking gone, get him out of your hair. And we said fine. Yeah. And then he's like, oh well, I had the cop come over to take pictures, and I want all my stuff back, and we're like, dude, the pictures have nothing in it. Your room's empty. Somebody else has moved in.
Yeah, Christ.
Anyways,
he obviously doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Just fuck him.
Fuck him.
I said seduce him, so I guess that's close enough, right? No, oh God. All right, so anyways, I'm wrapping this up. Thanks for watching this after show. I know we didn't talk much about the actual show, which is fine. I enjoyed this actually just as much. So
I did too.
Thank you. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Actually, what is tomorrow? What are we doing tomorrow for the show? Anybody know?
Saturday.
Oh, it's tomorrow Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we will be taking weekends off. I think from now on. I don't think we're going to be doing shows on Saturday and Sunday from now on. We're going to be moving to a Monday through format, or Friday format. So I think we're going to do once every so often. But
I would check your analytics, man. I would seriously do Sunday through or Saturday through Wednesday or something, or maybe Friday through Monday or something. In other words, I don't know if I would take off the weekend.
There's so many different channels on Sundays, though, right? And
Right.
I don't like stepping on anybody else, even though everybody does their show exactly the same time we are.
I literally moved my show for you, though.
You did, yeah. But other people are still doing it at 5 o'clock. But by the way, I look at everybody does their thing, right? I'm not saying don't do your show when we do ours. I don't care. But it's funny that we're getting like 300 some odd people, and then like somebody will do their program, they'll get like 20 or something. It's like, what if you did it an hour before, you'd have quite a bit more. I mean, I don't want to step on them, but we have a fixed thing, 5 o'clock every day. So that's the reason for that. So other people can maybe do something around that time, so they get more views. We're not trying to take their views, obviously.
My original formula for it was Talk Heathen is at noon my time, and then you have an hour and a half from when it ends to when Atheist Experience goes on, and I wanted that same hour and a half window. Because Talk Heathen and I work with the ACA, they're plugging a lot of my stuff. I was hoping to become a part of everyone's ACA routine, which may be happening. I don't know. We're growing at a pretty good rate. And so I went with that, but now I'm half an hour after Atheist Experience ends.
I just do hangouts whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah, Red don't give a fuck. Yeah, he'll step over anybody, man. He'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm having a hangout to talk about flat Earth again."
Yeah, I just think you should give up Mondays and Tuesdays and over it. But I mean, look at your analytics.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at the demographics. We got to go down to 5 days rather than 7 because
that's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. And I told Kyle that. I said, look, I understand the need for we want to be consistent, but it's a lot, and I think people will get burned out. And so we're going to be doing a 5 day, and then maybe 4. But anyways, real quick, Red, stick around before we go off air. I got to tell you something. So
sounds good.
Okay, thanks guys for watching.
Bye, everybody.